Slowly start gathering stuff as soon as you can, and then maybe a month before, slowly start checking it off.
As soon as possible, really. Try and get started as early as you can and start kind of putting away everything that you need before.
As soon as you are accepted into the program, you need to start preparing.
Yeah, and so the sooner the better. To realize and especially to focus in early on those things that need lots of lead time. And things like passport. And I would recommend quite early having sort of designing your own checklist.
Start packing well in advance and thinking about what kind of stuff you'll need, and then start taking things out of your suitcase or your backpack, because guaranteed you'll pack more than you need.
You can buy backpacks, you can buy wheeled luggage, hard case wheeled luggage, and some people bring kind of duffel bags or soft cased wheeled luggage. These are all valid choices, other than duffel bags.
Honestly, I'm a huge believer in the backpack just because the mobility is great. If you get one of those hiking backpacks, they can hold a lot of stuff, and they're good things to own.
What I brought for the trip was more like a duffel bag that had backpack straps on it, which seemed to work just fine because you could carry that with your hands, or you could slug it on your back if you were going, pretty far. So, wheels, probably wouldn't recommend too much.
I would, a backpack is appropriate for anything, I think. It's easy. It's probably the simplest way. You always have it with you. Suitcases, though, are good if you're going somewhere and staying for a while, because you can fit more in them and you don't have to lug it around, and they have wheels. So, I don't know. Depends on your trip.
Wheeled luggage is great for if you are staying at somewhere for a longer period of time, if you have buses taking you here or there, and if you're not doing a lot of off-road walking.
For a long stay on an exchange, I would recommend bringing a small suitcase and a backpack. The backpack is for weekend trips, and the small suitcase is great because it's rolled.
Don't bring a big suitcase. Several people bring many more clothes than they need.
People bring way too much stuff. You don't need a lot of clothes. You need a couple different outfits that are appropriate for different environments or activities. You don't need 4 books to read while you're there. You just need one good one, and then you can trade with other people. Basically, anything that you don't use at home, you probably won't need when you're traveling, unless you're going to an extreme environment like Jordan, where we needed to bring camel packs and hats and all kinds of stuff for sun protection and keeping hydrated.
For a trip that's going to be only a few weeks, let's say a month or so abroad, try to pack between 15 to 20 pounds. That doesn't sound like a lot, but it is. It's plenty. Some people have gotten away with 12 pounds.
Pack light, pack mobile, just pack smart. You don't need a lot of stuff when you're traveling. I mean, it depends on where you're going, but from my experiences, you're not going to 5-star places. You don't have to bring your heels and your fancy clothes and stuff. I'd bring a couple changes of clothes and just bring laundry. Like, you can buy little tiny packets of laundry soap and just wash it regularly, right? Just 3 days, 4 days worth of clothes, depending on where you're going, what you're doing. You want to pack as lightly as possible because that also leaves more room to buy stuff while you're there as well.
If you're packing to the brim of your suitcase, you're packing too much. What you should do is pack a month ahead of time, your entire thing, and then look at it and understand that 25% of that needs to come back out. Doesn't matter what you've packed, 25% needs to come back out. Now, for a shorter trip, such as only a few weeks, 2 or 3, don't bring a lot of clothing. Bring like 3 days worth of clothing.
I start a few weeks before and slowly start collecting things, and then taking things out and seeing what I need to buy, if there's something I need to get new.
For me, it wasn't like officially packing my bag, zipping it up, and then being good to go. It was packing my clothes, throwing them into the suitcase, trying to pack, seeing how much room I had for other stuff like toiletries or whatever else I'm going to bring, and then making adjustments beyond that.
Do your research before you go. If the culture is sensitive to people who are, dressed more liberally and they're more of a conservative culture, then you're going to want to pay attention to that.
Research the culture and the weather of the place that you're going to so that you know what you need to bring.
Research.
Headlamps are good for doing stuff at night if you're living in the desert or doing jungle walks at night, but they're also good for reading on night buses and stuff like that, airplanes, kind of, mostly night buses and hostels.
Pack a headlamp.
Well, I think a lot of people think that rolling their clothes while packing saves space, and it doesn't. If you actually lay your clothes out flat in a suitcase, you can pack so much more.
I always travel with a pashima scarf, like a long, thick scarf, and I can use it as a blanket on the plane, I can sit on it at the park, I can use it as a scarf, and it's just the best thing to travel with.
Don't go over there with shoes that are a year old. You might destroy them while you're there. You're going to be using them quite a lot, and then you're going to have to go through a process of trying to buy new shoes while wearing broken shoes, which is terrible, trust me.
I always take a few little sort of medical things with me, like Imodium, Tylenol, stuff like that you will be glad you have.
Anything that you need, you can buy there.
You almost always are going to be less prepared than you think you are.